all within me. Bless his holy and righteous name. Y'all, I'm just thankful. I am so thankful. I'm thankful because, I've been telling my story, right? So I was sitting here and I was thinking about something, and then I was thinking and listening to this lady, and I bust out laughing. She bust out laughing too, cause talking about how that people will start a lie about you, and just it's funny because they'll start a lie when reality they are the liars. They the ones spreading a lie to cover their own self, their own deceit and deception. And I thought about that, and when she said that, I bust out laughing, and she bust out laughing too, and made a joke out of it, which you have to make a joke out of stuff. When you see people, go to this measure to try to discredit you or talk about you, and that means that they don't love themselves and they are miserable in life, and their life choices that they chose, the path that they took, and I had to laugh, and it's still funny to me because I am happy. I am happy because God is good. I'm happy because I don't have to take time and sit down and talk about nobody else. When I say I tell my story, that's stuff I've been through, but I mean to just sit down in another room or, sit down with people, call on the phone, spreading lies, trying to make myself look good, try to turn other people against other people, that to me, y'all, y'all, it's funny to me because people don't realize they look like a psychopath because people begin to see the truth. When you see people doing that, they hide what they done, but they want to blame it on somebody else. And and I've been around that, how that everything is everybody else's fault, but people never look at what they done or how they caused the problem, and they do all that to cover themselves. And now y'all just sit back like people do that or act like that, and I think about how that not just that, how they got in, got hackers and stuff, hacking in my computers, trying to blame me for crime they committed. And, I just laugh. And then, people that be around you and act like they with you, and you see them all the time, that you can see them. And you just go on, like, go on. They try to find out stuff. You tell them what you want to tell them. They thinking they got something that they come to you, they hang around you to talk about, to hear what you talk about so they could go back and tell it. And and it was funny because I knew that. So I would say things, make them, they act like they was with me, but I knew they wasn't because I already knew they plan, because see, God already know the heart of people. So, I just go on along with them and act like, I'm, with them, but I know, things about them. That's the thing about me. It's like when I'm around people, the spirit kicks in and show me things about people. It's not that I asked for it. This is the good gift that God gave me. And then I'm realizing now, you know, um, that's what he gave me. And it's not this the thing about what people think, and I laugh too because I was thinking about how that these people, in Hollywood, or even just dumb people, think that they can destiny swap with somebody that God have chose to do a certain purpose on the earth, and then they take money to try to unalive the person, or take all of them, give out money. But see what they so dumb, they don't realize all the money gonna be tracked back to them, no matter how they try to get in your computer. This what I be saying all the time, y'all, by footprint, or digital footprint. I don't care how you hack up in a person's computer, they know you hacked in the computer because you have a different IP address, and they can hook that back to you because they can see that activity. And I don't know why people learn. They supposed to learn about computers and learn about all this stuff, but they don't have common sense to realize everything is tracked. Every phone call is tracked. You listen to people, oh, I don't talk to someone, so I don't talk. But then yet the phone numbers is on there. So, it's the funny thing I was seeing because, I'm laughing about it because it's funny how people deceive them own self. That's what I want to say. How they deceive themselves thinking that you don't know anything because God revealed to you what you need to know. And I just wanted to get on here and say that because I was laughing about that. I'm thank God because I'm able to laugh about things, even knowing, that people still trying to do things to me, say things about me. But that's okay because God ordained it that way. Those are my stepping stones to get me where I'm going in life anyway. So it is what it is, and to God be the glory. And I am so excited for what God is doing in my life. And I thank Him, and I thank y'all for joining. I always try to stop and thank y'all for joining. Even if you come a little while, y'all please give me some likes if y'all don't mind. I appreciate it. Like I said before, whether negative or not, I want to say hi to everybody, and that the blessings of God would overtake you and your family. Will protect your family at this time because so many people need God protection over their children and their family members because so many people out here. That doesn't mean any good for the kids nor your families, but protect your families in prayer. People act like you got to pray some special prayers. No, just pray from your heart, especially when you have a right heart, when your heart is right before God and you love helping other people and not being selfish, all about yourself, but always ready and willing to help somebody else. But guys, look, thank y'all for joining. I totally honestly appreciate every time y'all get opportunity to join. Like I said, even for a little while, and you guys have to leave out, I want to say again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And y'all love yourself. Put yourself first. Spend time with yourself, doing things for yourself. And you know what? Just be happy. You know why? Because, see, this life, we're living it now, and we're supposed to enjoy. And don't let nobody prevent you from enjoying what God gave you. You all have a nice evening. Thank you so much for joining.